Hi, Ben. Thanks for trusting me to work on your email subject prediction model. So I want to show you where I started out and where I was able to get to with our model. So with the initial model, what I got was drop your on the deal is what's your. So as you can see, this is gibberish. That's not a sentence. That's not an email subject line. That's not anything anyone would be incentivized to click on. After a few iterations, I was able to get it to spit out too good to pass up as our first email subject line. So this is a great subject line. This is something that you would actually likely see from a lot of businesses. It has that nice clickbait ability where it's trying to get you to dive into it. What is too good to pass up? I want to get the deal. So I want to talk through a little bit about the changes I made. So the first thing I did to improve this was the text preprocessing. So I converted all of the text to lowercase and I stripped out a lot of those special characters. So we can see there's some apostrophes, there were periods, commas, stripped all that out so the text was all treated in the same way, which just makes the processing easier and more accurate. The next thing I did was switch from using bigrams to trigrams. So bigrams looks at the word in front and just uses that single word to predict what the next word will be. Trigrams is going to look at the pair of words in front. So it's looking at two words and then predicting the next word. So this is just increasing the context that the model has to work off of and is going to increase the quality of the predictions. The next thing I did was the implementation of start and end tokens. So as we can see in our initial model, it's ending with your, it's starting with drop. It's not looking at the actual start and end of sentences. So what I did was I coded the model to look at the start and end of all of our historic email subject lines and told it that you need to start with one of our start words and end with one of our end words. This way we're going to get a subject line that actually flows and makes sense. It's starting and ending in the places that we would expect a subject line to start and end. And then finally, what I did was took the weighted probability. So this improves the model by looking at the number of times that a specific word follows a certain word and using the probability to predict that that will be the next word. So for instance, if we are talking about tall men a lot in our subject lines, and say 90% of the time after the word tall comes the word man, but then 10% of the time after the word tall comes the word giraffe, weighted probability is going to say that we would expect 90% of the time man is going to follow tall. Whereas our initial model was basically just saying it can either be man or it can be giraffe, and it's just going to be a 50-50 split there. We're randomly choosing a word. So as you can see, we have a much improved model here. Hopefully this is going to be really useful to you in the future, but let me know if you have any questions.